Hi and welcome to the Demystifying Mental Toughness podcast for athletes, coaches and professionals who want to achieve their goals faster. I'm David Charlton and I'll be sharing proven methods from leading athletes, coaches and experts that will help you get the most from your talent. Today's show is sponsored by Functional Intelligent Training, who are a sports injury clinic located in Gosforth near Newcastle upon Tyne and specialise in athlete development, nurturing future champions, strength and conditioning support and excellent rehabilitation services. Hi everyone, this episode will be broadcast on Christmas Day, so naturally we're approaching the end of 2020 and I'm really thankful for each and every one of you who has tuned in to this podcast. It's been a strange old year, a year that which has tested the most mentally tough people, as Peter Clough mentioned in our fascinating chat in a recent episode. And because of that, because of the uncertainty that we've all had to live in, it's been very easy to get too concerned with the things that we can't do, or the things that we can't control. One thing that we can do is be thankful though, and I'm certainly thankful for everyone who's been involved in the podcast to date, every guest who's shared their wisdom, everyone who's joined us, everyone who's listened, everyone who's shared the podcast to their friends, everybody who follows the podcast or myself on social media, and lastly the sponsor of the show, Functional Intelligent Training. And on the theme of being thankful, in this episode I'm going to talk about being grateful, and the fact that gratitude is a skill that you should start considering looking into and into incorporating in your daily routines or your daily processes. But why should you do that? Well, to start with, emotional control, the ability to control your thoughts and your feelings, to adjust your emotional responses in different situations, it's a hugely important element of mental toughness. So let's think about this year, 2020, a challenging, a difficult year with the coronavirus. In this year, I've certainly come across many people who found this skill of controlling their emotional responses very, very trying at times. Let's be honest, people have been cooped up in the house a lot more than they normally would do. They've been missing their friends and they've been spending an awful lot of time in the past getting frustrated about the impact that COVID's had on their life. They've been thinking about what they were doing 12 months ago and then comparing themselves to today's situation and getting angry about what they want to be doing, whether that's going to a sporting event, to a concert, having a beer in the pub with their friends, running a marathon, whatever that is for you, even just being in the office with a lot of people. And this whole situation has made some people become more anxious than normal. Others have even experienced COVID firsthand, and it's made them unduly worry about the situation and the potential impact on them, their family, their future, their business. So let's get back to gratitude and why gratitude is so powerful. So when your attitude is filled with gratitude, you can train your mind, train yourself over time to experience more and more positive emotions. Naturally, we all experience a mixture of emotions, be that happiness, sadness, excitement, frustration, contentment, love, all sorts of emotions. Some emotions are going to be very strong in a positive sense or in a negative sense. Some will be quite neutral, potentially slightly positive or slightly negative, depending on the situation that you're in. So now I'd just like you to have a little bit of a think, and out of interest, where do you feel your gratitude tank is right now? Where does it fall? Is it full? Is it somewhere in the middle? Or is it pretty awful? Is it quite empty? Have you spent a period of time where you've been stuck in the past, or maybe you've been overwhelmed about the future? So let's think about a gratitude tank that is full. If it's full, I can pretty much guarantee that you're going to go on to experience more and more feelings, positive feelings. You're going to feel more and more content, happier, which in turn will mean when you think about the future, you're going to be looking at positive things. You're going to be looking at the things that you can do, whilst also you're going to be more grounded in the present moment. It really does help you focus when you practice gratitudes on a regular basis. So when that tank is full up with gratitude and you see this good stuff, those negative experiences, those past experiences that have been painful or you've been frustrated about, there's a shift. And that's right, you'll see a shift, how your perception changes about those events. So a classic example for me as a sports psychologist, I'm generally the last port of call when an athlete approaches me. Often they approach me when they're having a bad run of form. So they're not in a particularly great place about their sport. And to them, this is a huge deal. They train, they play, they watch TV, they might be on YouTube, they might listen to podcasts, they might read about their sport. It consumes their everyday life. And if they're not playing well, and especially at a higher level, at a professional level, or if you're aspiring to be a professional, there can be a whole host of negative emotions that really immerse you. So how do you get over this? How do you change that negative situation, that negative feeling through gratitude? So if people are in this situation, I encourage them to think about what they actually have now. And this can be really, really powerful. So it might be the eyes. You might have your sight. And if you focus on some helpful things with your eyes that ground you in the moment, that help your performance, then more and more positive emotions can be harnessed. Very much like the body. If your arms and your legs and your trunk are in full working order, you're fortunate enough to have those parts working, then you can appreciate what they do. Perhaps your hearing as well. If you can hear and you can communicate with your mouth to other people, and you appreciate that, you're grateful for that, then you can begin to shift. Then by simply having this feeling, this understanding of the things that you have right now can begin to shift in the brain, part of this emotional experience. So rather than just simply focusing on this anger, this negativity, this frustration about where you are in your sport, things alter. Another scenario which I come across quite a lot in my work is where athletes approach me to work with them when they're injured, when they're going through rehab, especially serious injuries. And personally, I've experienced this firsthand myself as well. I was out of action for around about 18 months with a serious knee injury. And then I've had back problems for the last 6 or 7 years. So I know what it's like when injury stops you from doing the things that you actually love. And often during the rehab process, athletes have a range of setbacks. Sometimes things aren't really smooth. And, they can get angry, they can get really frustrated because they see their friends, their mates doing what they love, but they can't do it. And sometimes you get these unseen injuries where you feel like you're coming back, you're on a positive run with your rehab, then something just crops up and it doesn't get any better. You go for scans and sometimes the results of scans don't really show a great deal and you just keep chugging on with your rehab. Potentially you might even get misdiagnosed. And if you're doing this for a long period of time, for 3, 6, 9 months, whatever it is, it can be really, really frustrating. And you can get stuck in the past. Things can feel pretty hopeless at times. You can be quite helpless. So how do you lift yourself out of that? Through gratitudes. So if we're going to think about the body, the likelihood is if you're in that place, you're going to be looking and thinking about all the things that your body can't do. So what would be helpful would be to think about what actually is working in your body and then practice being grateful on a daily basis, making a note on your phone or in a journal about the different body parts that are working. And we're talking about real simple things here. So the fact that potentially you've got fingers, that you've got hands, and the fact that you can go to a tap and pour a glass of water and then you can have a drink from it. Some people aren't so fortunate to do that. It might be that you've got an injury in your upper body, but your lower body's working absolutely fine. So there's things that you can do. Maybe you can go on the bike. Maybe you can be doing lower weight exercises in the gym. You can be grateful for those little things. So as a little reminder about gratitude and the real good reasons for doing gratitudes on a regular basis, firstly, I'm going to give you 5 reasons. We've got gratitude can improve relationships. It can improve performance and productivity. It can help you sleep better. It helps your health and your heart. And it can help you cope with stress and boost your mental strength. So why would you not do gratitudes? I'm going to end this episode now on a more upbeat feel. some of the things that you can make a note of when you're doing gratitudes could be humorous. So a recent example for me was recently when I was working with a footballer. We were doing a session over Zoom, and it gives you the whiteboard facility. So on this whiteboard facility, I made a note which should have said the accuracy of my shot. However, I had an icon over the top of some of the text, and it actually said the accuracy of my shit. And yeah, we had a good old laugh. The tears were running down our faces. I made a note of that, and if I look back at that in 6 weeks, 2 months' time, then it's going to fill me with a lot of positive emotions and give me a good laugh. Other things I've made notes of in the past, the fact I've watched Michael McIntyre on TV and again had a good belly laugh at something. It might be things like the talents that you have. You can be grateful for some of those talents. If you're fast, if you're quick, if you've got great awareness around you, if you've got speed and power, the fact that your brain, your memory bank allows you to learn from mistakes and not repeat them, if you choose to, of course. And again, going back to my case, I've got kids, so play fighting and having a good laugh with the kids often goes down there. And thinking about Christmas time, I'm pretty sure I'll be making a note about the fact that I'm grateful that I am spending some time with my family. I'm aware that some people aren't in that fortunate position. So in a nutshell, making a note of gratitudes on a regular basis, it really can help you breathe and give you some incredible space. It allows your perception to change over time. It doesn't just happen straight away. You've got to be patient with it. Like anything. Let's be honest, if you go in the gym, you can't expect to lift 100 kilos from nothing. You've got to gradually increase the weight over a period of time. And also what it can do, it can have an impact on your self-talk too, because you start noticing those positive things and you recognize where maybe you've gone wrong in the past. So I'm going to challenge you, maybe not today on Christmas Day, but certainly moving forward. I'd like you to make a note of 3 things each and every day, and then change those things for the next day, and then the next day. And just think, over 30 days, if you did that consistently, you would have written down 90 things that you've been grateful for, 90 different things. So I'm inviting you to take part in this little challenge, because when you look back, it really will help you feel much better. It'll make you laugh at time. It's going to produce many positive emotions. And on that score, like I mentioned at the start of this episode, I am really, really grateful for you tuning in. And I do hope that you have a nice Christmas and New Year time, that you put some of these tips into practice, and it helps you kick on and make 2021 certainly a much better year than 2020. Take care and Merry Christmas. I'd like to give a big thanks to today's sponsors, Functional Intelligent Training, who are a sports injury clinic located in Gosforth near Newcastle upon Tyne and specialise in athlete development, nurturing future champions, strength and conditioning support and excellent rehabilitation services. Thank you for listening to Demystifying Mental Toughness today. To sign up for tips and advice to help you be the best that you can be, go to www.sport-excellence.co.uk and sign up to the Mental Edge newsletter.